ESL One, New York.
ESL One New York, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, unless, of course, your FaZe clan, where your dreams become nightmares and everything goes completely awry. Last year, you were able to grab the title here, and now you're on your way home. But we are set up for a winner's match, and that's going to be a little bit of Gambit versus the mousesports. My name is Trey Saranthus here on the desk, and of course, we're joined by a new face. Not so new, I guess. He's rather...
Just for today.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, been there a while.
Kind of like the historian of esports, dare I say, and Duncan Shields. And then, of course, Maniac.
Hello.
Staying strong, bud. How's it going over there?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm excited about the next game.
Okay, I do like to hear that. Kind of like I like to hear the voices of the next two that I'm going to introduce to you. Allow me to take the pleasure to bring in our next commentary duo. It's going to be none other than the Machine and the Pansy, recently putting out an album of their own. Guys?
It's Pansy and the Machine. That would make more sense.
Please.
Like Florence and the Machine.
Yeah,
right?
get it right, please.
Beauty and the Beast.
Or I'll take it. Yeah.
Which way?
I'm clearly the beauty.
Beauty.
Yeah.
You're
Don't
right.
make
You're
assumptions.
absolutely right.
Don't make gender assumptions.
Yeah, why is it going to be like that?
Yeah, it's not going to make sense.
Anyway, how are you guys enjoying New York thus far, going into today at least?
We had a lovely day, actually, after our cast, which was fun. Casting
It's really
again,
nice.
Getting
Good fun.
used to that. We went to Central Park. We walked
Okay.
around a bit.
Wonder. Yeah, lovely.
It's
Good
huge,
time.
by the way.
Yes.
We walked for what felt like hours, and we did about, what, 10% of it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's huge. Go to Central Park, though.
Yeah,
Check it
should
out.
definitely do that. Don't come to the Cosmic Diner where you can find Duncan later on this evening. Let's go ahead and start talking a little bit about these teams. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Gambit. It is mousesports. This is a winner's match. The winner does go on to play in the Barclays Center. And perhaps we just go ahead and do it just like this and start talking about Gambit right away.
Mo. Formerly the inconsistent Opper, Mo is now a dependable member of this squad. Hobbit. One of the stars of 2017, the team's success relies heavily on this man refinding form. Doja. The ex-god himself, Doja has earned his place as a CIS legend. Mir. Newcomer to the squad, but yet to feel completely at home in his new side. Adrian. Another struggling member of the team, Adrian has the potential to set his squad straight. This is Gambit Esports.
Gambit Esports sitting at a ripe rank number 20 in the HLTV.org rankings, as well as a few little other weird things going on around there. Hobbit announcing a free agency. Where is this team right now?
It is basically a dead team because supposedly, like, the squad will be removed soon, which is bizarre because they did, as you see on your screen there, bring in Blade to be the coach not that long ago, actually. This is a move he resisted for many years. So you would have thought they'd give it a longer chance, maybe 6 months, see what he's able to do, give him some say in roster moves, but inexplicably, it seems like they're going to call it quits. No one really actually knows, aside from Hobbit, what the future rest of the players are, though, because, again, he's been listed in free agency, but no one really knows. Did the others stay together and go to a different org? Did they just split up entirely, as I alluded to yesterday? There are rumours there will be some sort of a CIS super team formed, so maybe some of them end up there, some of them don't. No one really knows at the moment, but good results so far to get things going.
Using these players, Duncan, and really quickly, who is that CIS super team?
I mean, you'd obviously ideally have to get Na'Vi players involved because, I mean, there's a reason that core has been at the top of World Counter-Strike. I'd take some players from Gambit for sure, though. Like, I still think Adren could be rehabilitated, one of the all-time great players from that region. Hobbit is definitely very talented. I actually think, as you've seen in this tournament so far, they've finally been able to use May in something approaching what he was in Vegas Squadron, because that's kind of been the disappointment of this Gambit team is they brought May in, but didn't look as though they kind of like turned him loose, gave him roles that he was good in, and so he was a little bit kind of underwhelming.
Underwhelming indeed, and it is a sad state of affairs here if you are a Gambit fan, but not necessarily as sad if you are a mousesports fan. Now, this team is an enigma for all intents and purposes. You bring Snacks in, you start citing communication issues, but it's definitely a weird situation over there if you're in the mousesports camp.
Yeah, it is extremely weird, and I think that move from Snacks and Styko wasn't really understood by everyone. I myself was a little bit perplexed about it. Obviously, you can bring someone that has more fragging power than Styko. Arguably, Snacks used to be or could be a top player in the world. But the thing is, what the problem for me was that they had a system that was kind of working with Styko. They were, in my opinion, a top 5 team in the world, arguably. Now they bring in Snacks. It doesn't look like it's really working, or not as much as it was with Styko. Even though player per player, maybe an improve, but not for the system.
Well, for what it's worth, this is a best-of-3 winners match, and it's going to be the first 2 maps of the series, Train and Dust 2. How are we feeling about this shaping up so far?
I actually think like mousesports is liking the veto at the moment. Like Dust 2's a map they've been trying to flex into a lot more. Train's one that they can play. I wouldn't say they're fantastic on it, but certainly one of the better ones. Like they're hoping at this point in time to get maybe, what would you want? Like in theory, Inferno's not terrible. Hasn't been great for them. They go with Nuke instead. A little bit of a gamble there. Like I know the old mousesports team obviously used to be very good on Nuke. That was a while ago. And obviously, actually, interestingly enough, all the Gambit lineups have played Nuke and Train. Like that's one of the reasons I think they've always been able to match up so well in best of 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also played against Na'Vi, 16-4 for Gambit on Nuke. But I agree with you. I said it multiple times. mousesports used to be one of the best teams in the world on Nuke, and especially because they had this ability to be extremely strong as T. A lot of teams they pick Nuke and they gamble on the fact that they're going to have 11, 12 round the CT and just kind of find the solutions as T. But mousesports, they could put 8, 9, 10 rounds as T. So not an easy game.
It's not going to be an easy game, but moreover, it's not even going to be any easier to predict how this game goes. And in fact, let's kind of do that really quickly here as we go into our first map. It's going to be a little bit of Train. Where do you guys see this one landing?
Yeah, the tough part here is the X factor for me is the Gambit teams. I don't know if they're going to turn up and be really good or be the underwhelming Gambit team that I've even seen at the DreamHack Opens not doing very well. So I'm going to go ahead and bank on the fact that if they've gotten this far, they must have some game. So actually, I think Train's one of the maps that they can get a win on. So I'm going to say that Gambit can edge this one.
Really quickly, what do you got for me, Maniac?
I also go with Gambit just because I wasn't convinced by mousesports on Train against Fnatic. They were really struggling to close the map. So I'm going to go with Gambit.
Well, I think that could be a safe bet. Of course, this mousesports having that X factor, and I don't mean the X God himself. That would be on the other side of the table. Either way, that's enough of us. That's enough of hot air coming out of at least Duncan's mouth. Let's go ahead and give it over to those that will be breathing all of the air in the venue. That's going to be Pansy and
They're not filters, you know. They're just humans. Why are they going to be breathing all the air in the venue?
That's an intro. Now that gets me pumped. But let's breathe, Lauren. Let's
Did he call us mouth breathers? Like what?
Let's filtrate the air in this studio. Let's do that. Gambit versus mousesports, though, is coming up, and I am ecstatic to be able to talk about Counter-Strike loudly with you, Lauren, for a couple of hours. And I am thoroughly excited for this one. We are just moments away from getting into this one, and I think the desk have kind of framed it in the perfect way, where this is actually...
We're mouth breathers?
Other than us being mouth
okay.
breathers, no,
Right.
that is something to be talking about. I mean, make sure you can actually hear me with my mouth-breathing mouth. But, yeah, I think it's basically, you're in a weird place where we've got a winner's match between two teams who are kind of in a little bit of a funk, despite them, of course, putting in a great performance. I mean, the fact that Gambit are here because of a win versus Na'Vi is testament to the fact that they do seem to have done crazy things.
Yeah, they both got 2-1 results in their previous games, got to this point. mousesports, this was such a curious map. Their T-sides looked a little bit tough to get themselves going, considering they're the more established team here. When they were playing up against Fnatic with the stand-in, you kind of expected to see it going the way it did, but again, it was a little bit of a rough ride to get to that point. So I'm hoping that things smooth out a little bit and we see the good that we saw in mousesports, and Sunny was part of that good. He is already very much under pressure to start with.
And we had the pleasure of watching them on Train as well, so we'll have plenty to talk about from what we've seen and any changes that do occur. Hobbit sitting on the bench and yet still an influential member of Gambit for this series and for this tournament here in New York. Looking at the setup so far, bomb loose, so nothing fast from Gambit, at least not in the bomb plant variety. Not too much utility as well coming out. It's just going to be Sunny, of one of their strongest players, fortunately for them, taking the hit first, but he does have the defuse kit and the smoke, which is a lethal combination on Train.
Hobbit showing a lot down by the ramp on towards B, but he has backed away. There's 3 players dedicated there from mousesports as well. A curious setup, putting a lot of faith in Snacks and Sunny. So those two are going to have to be really quite cautious in how much they give and what's worthwhile committing to, because if they go down, it's a long way to get back towards that site, specifically Snacks. He's the furthest forward here. So if they do go for this hit, and there is no utility on Gambit.
This is a very passive setup.
It is.
From the CTs. mousesports, they've basically just got Snacks on bomb Train, Sunny towards the back of Ivy.
And the scary thing is that Gambit just have to take fights. They have no smokes, flashes, or anything to create these opportunities with, and they came into this round like that. No one's absconded away from the armor, so this is purely just get towards the sites, and it's worked because they're being so passive. mousesports, gave him a little bit and they took a lot. And now with the bomb plant, 5 alive, good after plant positions, this retake, Alex, is going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah, you got to find those first few shots and find them quickly. There is still that kit on Sunny, so it's not impossible, but these frags, or rather the absence of frags here from Chris J, and Oscar's struggling too. Mo gets himself the frag and already to the good. Rops falls as well now, just leaving Chris J and Sunny in dire straits. Chris finally finds the head of Adrian, but it's all too little too late, and Sunny miles away with that kit and smoke. Maybe, just maybe, going to be able to take one, but it's only going to be a consolation frag, nothing more. It's a round for Gambit, and a rather easy one. They do just take their time, get some info, show face. I think actually, you know, you talked about Hobbit showing a lot on ramp. It seemed to, you know, serve its purpose. We saw 3 CTs, all eyes on B. The bomb just slowly walks its way out A. Snacks left in a 1v3, numbers against him on that bomb train, and that Bob's your uncle.
You make it sound so
Can
easy.
we use Bob's your uncle? I don't know if that's a universal term.
Let us know at home. Is Bob's your uncle a common phrase that you would understand at the drop of the hat?
Nice. Nice.
Tweet at machine GG.
Machine Egg is my Twitter. Machine Egg. Yeah.
You're like a machinima fan.
It's really sad. I just want Machine, but he tweets once every 3 years, so I can't have it.
Yeah, fair enough. Or at me. So let us know
Pansy.
if those phrases work for you.
Still.
And how much faith do you put in these CZs?
I never write out a Deagle round, especially when Sunny is in a position like this. However, there are, I think that's 3, yeah. There is 3. All on Ivy. It's Dosia to walk in, and that was into the guillotine. Unfortunately, though, doesn't quite find the neck. Just a bit of an injury for Dosia, down to 40. He snacks his turn, and he finishes and takes Hobbit out of the equation.
Dosia that time, though. Perfectly well set, and they do regain control. It does get scary when you see those first opening kills with the damage coming in. You start thinking maybe this is one of those rounds that spirals away, but the last 2 players are not so well set. Rops, though, does have some armor, does have a 5-7, but he has no step towards that bomb or that plant or any other players near there. So for him, it might be eyes on the next one and try and just kind of deal with what he has in front of him with if anyone comes that way, which Dosia might meander towards that side of things, but...
Interesting, while he's on screen, it's worth mentioning that he actually had a real quiet game, or quiet series, specifically for Robs. He's been such an integral part of the mousesports success, but they did it without him yesterday, or at least without the form we know he's capable of. Robs doesn't look like he's going to go down here.
It was 1 kill, wasn't it, at one point?
Well, at one point, what was it? It was the craziest thing. It was, I think Sunny had like 23 on Inferno, and Robs had 1.
It felt really weird.
Yeah, a little out of whack,
really
but you know, this is a game to get in front of the crowd, and perhaps that will drive him forwards. Of course, not forgetting this is off the back of the major, and I think that does tend to put players in a different mindset, whether it's hunger or whether it's exhaustion.
Well, I mean, FaZe have already gone out and served Fnatic. I mean, we've seen some really weird results. Or Na'Vi lost to, or put into a weird position by Gambit in match you don't expect. I mean, a lot of these teams are in a state of flux, it feels, and we're certainly seeing that. And they're going to try and make something happen with the USPSs. I don't blame them either.
Just run Ivy though.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah, I know. It's just like get the what's that Benny Hill theme tune on. They're just running past each other. 4-man charge down Ivy. And
no one wants to be the first player. Like, no one wants to go around and die first. Because, like, you're just going to get traded on, which is, like, the ideal scenario. You're not going to get, like, the round in the bag, but Adren, oh, he's got so much in front of him.
I reckon eventually he walks into this firing squad.
Is he patient enough?
Start walking out. I think Snax has been spotted, so they know where he is. Maybe that'll draw Adren around the corner, but we'll find out.
Hobbit's on the prowl as well. He's going down Ivy.
The 4-man USP stack at T-spawn.
He's going.
Here we go. He could get a whole lot of cash, but Hobbit's doing the damage. And now they're all looking away. Ah, it's a disaster. Okay, they managed to get a couple of kills. The USPs don't go completely silently. And it'll be a nice little 3-0 start for Gambit. No complaints from them. They convert off the pistol. They've got cash for days. Those SMG frags certainly contributing. And now...
This is the round I want to look at, Alex. You want to know why?
I want to look at their buy. Gambit have not bought AKs, or at least not all of them.
They're being
Am I being silly? I am being silly. They saved them. Of course they did.
Yeah. The reason I want to look at this round, Alex,
why?
Double ops. And that was the big factor for mousesports on their CT side against Fnatic just yesterday. This was the part that Fnatic then no longer could get anywhere. They struggled profusely, and that was the story of yesterday's games in my eyes, was the T sides were not coming through for those opening teams. And we're seeing Oscar and Sunny keeping true to that trend. Dren has snuck his way forward, but again, this feels like those bonus-ish rounds where you're still kind of having some of that prior weaponry drawn into this. So Dren is disposable to a degree, but it's Mo and it's Hobbit who are the ones to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, he's going to be in trouble immediately. Snax was playing Bomb Train. That's going to be his home for the first half here on Train. Bomb loose, Hobbit and Mo forced to pull together and pair up. It's not looking likely. 2 AKs. Of course, the rest of them trying to get that bonus round. It hasn't worked out in their favor. However, they will have the money to try and reset mousesports should they take this one. But they have to take weapons away to make that impactful. They have to take, you know, maybe both of those orbs away, cut Snax down to size given how low he is, but no nades to make it happen. And instead, this could be a very boring 50 seconds where they just sit and stare.
Well, Alex, if that is the case, apparently Bob's your uncle is not.
It's not
a
a
common
popular phrase?
No.
Okay.
And
so
someone's telling you Bob is not his uncle.
it's not?
No.
Sorry, man.
But at least we are seeing a bit of an attempt here.
Here we
They
go.
have gone for this.
Walking out towards E-Box then. Hobbit's going to be trying to provide a little bit of a flank. Snax low. He's holding that headshot angle, just trying to catch some info, and he certainly got it. Knows where Hobbit is.
Time, though, 24 seconds.
That's
That's going to help.
That's the low health Snax down. Chris J with that orb though on the cross. Hobbit's never going to get across there safely. And oh, I tell a lie. Info gathered though. And they're going to try and get this bomb down.
How are they getting away with this?
This is not going to work
There
out.
we go. Thank you. I was so worried he got that far, because then you're playing retake on the double orbs. It gets costly. Round 2.
Have another jab at it.
Oh, where's the knife? Not going to happen. Not going to risk it. Rops, he wants the kills. He wants to start feeling out this tournament, so why not? He gets the kill. He denies the plant. No additional money. Gambit leaving it too little too late and lost out on so much, but the double orbs are retained, which is a huge factor because they cost so much money.
And
keep it back.
a little bit of extra for you because they were so obviously, you know, on the bomb when they died. That's 2 retrieved AK-47s for the CT side. If things just start running away, as we saw yesterday when we were casting Train, that's when those saved AKs just become real problems. So many headshot angles you can hold as a CT, and it just makes those exchanges all the more favorable to mousesports. But let's find out. This is where things can get a bit dicey. Ooh, Hobbit, a ballsy Molotov deep into Pop Dog and just outside. Now, bomb loose again. This is Gambit's kind of default. We're going to be seeing the little run boost. Chris J, we saw he handled this very well versus Fnatic, and he does it again versus Mo. All he has to do is just take it aggressively. Doesn't let them peek into him. Catches them as they emerge from the quote-unquote unpredictable side of Ivy. Not for Chris J.
I'm looking at Oscar as well throughout this, because last time around they very much left Rops very isolated at B. He was kind of not necessarily like soloing it the whole time, but Oscar would be that, you know, he'd come across eventually as soon as they made some contact, or maybe Rops felt uncomfortable. I like to see the differences of approach from team to team. So maybe mousesports feeling this isn't a team we can do that 4-1 stack with. Maybe this, you know, we have to take it a little bit differently. And to be fair, Chris J, Sunny, and Snax clearly more than capable of showing a lot of presence thus far, but it looks like Gambit have got themselves almost ready to go here. Smoke's being lined up, and the hit looks like it's quite likely. Dozier will collect the bomb, so it could be go time pretty soon as Chris J going to navigate through the smokes and find the angle he feels comfortable with. There's no pressure from Ivy. That's a big bonus for them, so they can try and focus towards this, but they don't know that. Sunny's still attentive towards it as the rest of the T-side do make their way forward. Chris J unable to find the shot he desired, but in the meantime, Snax plays through the smoke as we know he likes to.
The CTs have handled this so well. Sure, the bomb's down. The frag's now going in favor of Gambit. This is important. Dozier and Hobbit, they're not going down without a fight, but Chris J straight through the train finds Dozier, leaving Hobbit to go 1v3. He's already got 1 in this round, and actually has got an exposed Sunny on top of that train. It should be a frag, and it will be. Finds the head of the fin. Bomb down. That's his benefit here. No defuse coming in yet. He finds Rops. They're taking the 1v1s. It's exactly what he wanted, but he's low. Looking for his 4th frag. He's going close to that bomb. He's falling for the fake, but baits away. Now just has the Glock. He's got movement
so
of an
good.
angel. So graceful. And he finds the frag. Hobbit, 4 in the round. A 1 versus 3. Exceptional work from him as he takes 1 step closer to Mordor.
That why? That was exceptional from him. To be fair, that was so nicely done. It feels like there's a bit of freedom with the guy now. He's maybe feeling like
that little
dance
strafe.
at the end,
Ooh,
checking in on the bomb, making sure it wasn't
naughty
real.
Boy.
And you know you're annoyed if you're Chris J on the end of that, or anyone on the end of that.
He
Like,
hears
you're
the
frustrated,
steps.
right?
Chris J's faked it. He hears the steps. He's like, right, I've done my job done. Here
Yep.
it comes. Here comes the frag, but just a nice,
so nice.
smooth little KZ practice from Hobbit. And hang on a second, aggression
shotgun.
with the shotgun, Oscar. He's not achieved too much with that one. A couple of shrapnel in the legs of Mir, but he's breathing.
Christian baiting on the shot there. But so far, so good for Gambit. If you look at it, utility's still very flush, but they haven't really come across the bigger guns that are still on the table. You still got Christian and Snacks with the rifles here. Robs does have a deagle. So there is still plenty of threats, and you've seen mousesports kind of just stack up and try and stick together. It feels like they're going to try and put all the eggs in one basket. But for Gambit, they can take their time. They got that opening exchange very early on. They didn't use all that utility, so they can go pretty much wherever they please.
And now, with the number advantage and knowing that utility slash general weaponry is weak for mousesports, Gambit just bide their time, making sure they're not going to get caught out by any CT pushes. Mo, you can still see he's actually still patiently waiting towards T-spawn, catching a glimpse towards Ivy and Team Main. Now, though, they start to gather. 40 seconds, Gambit have sent Adren outside, looking to gather intel. The stack from the CTs is going to become apparent if Adren does report back to his team. You can see that number 8 on the board. He's going to start calling it, but Gambit, they are starting to back away. I think they're going to go Pop Dog. Yep, Adren made the call.
Good call as well. All those 3 players could have really been a nuisance, especially at this time. This is when these rounds get specifically scary. Less than 20 seconds, you're just going to have to gamble it. It works out. Bomb down, jobs are good, and they have players in nice advanced positions. You've got Hobbit watching a good angle, Dren as well. So they've kind of got this all cornered. All the boxes are being ticked. Really well played, even though it's that scary last couple of seconds, right? Now, even though they are losing out on some kills, obviously not ideal, they've got the round in the bag.
They certainly should do. Yep, the CT's just digging their heels in. They want to try and keep this weaponry alive. Kevlar and just a deagle for Rops, but the rest with those M4s. I don't think Gambit are going to let them save these weapons easily. In fact, you can see they're almost starting to group up for this push. The 3 of them, the band of brothers in CT spawn, are about to get chased down by the X-God. They should be okay. Never mind. Dosia finds Chris J. That's one of the M4s gone on the floor, but Rops managed to find an AK during that exchange, and so not awful for mousesports, but a good solid lead from Gambit. This is the T side of Train. This is where, if those CTs don't start building economy, you can start nurturing quite the lead. Of course, converting the pistol, win the first gun round, everything's looking tickety-boo. Another one I probably can't say.
I mean,
Bob's your uncle, tickety-boo. I'm just
how would you explain tickety-boo? Real easy, real quick.
To be tickety-boo, it's when things are well.
Things
are okay. You know, like the sun is shining and you had a nice breakfast. Things are tickety-boo.
What's a nice breakfast to you? You think about that while I watch this push down by the box halls. Ideal breakfast, ideal nade almost there, as that could have, you know, that little bit further and you'd have Sonny, Oscar, I think Chris J as well, all feeling it.
Stack. It's
yeah, this is nice. These angles are annoying to work around as well because you're not expecting to swing on 3, so that could be a player caught. But that is also bearing in mind that somehow Snacks and Rops hold their own and they don't just get pushed aside and that site becomes so valuable instantly that, you know, Gambit won't overlook it.
Slow though, methodical from Gambit. It's been working for them so far. Hobbit, again, his responsibility clearly to clear Pop Dog eventually, albeit passively. Another Molotov doesn't quite push Snacks out of position, but that one will. Look at the teamwork. And indeed, that is the end of him. 2 Molotovs and some bullets from Adrian.
I'm wondering how long this... It looks like Chris J wants to start peeling away. He's checking on the ramp in case anyone just walks down, but Rops is feeling so much pressure, and he can be one of those isolated B players, so he has that calmness to him, but it's tough with Hobbit getting so much ground gain now. It's going to be horribly difficult, and look at the route Hobbit's taking.
He's coming behind them on Z. Oh. He's got so much info. He's just assuming they're here. He's not going to find, actually. Because of their positioning, They do have an element of surprise. However, I think Hobbit walking through A has made the call like, guys, I just didn't get shot at. And I had a lovely long, it was quite sunny, walk outside in the yard.
Breakfast.
My favorite breakfast?
Go, go, go. To be tickety-boo.
I think a nice sausage sarnie.
Fair play.
Sandwich.
Sarnie. No one knows what we're saying.
No, I'm just talking in a different language, essentially.
Yeah, fair play.
Because I spent 2 weeks in London.
That's it.
I've become obnoxiously British. Still.
I grew up in London. How dare you? Okay. We do see a kind of the stalemate of both teams now want to just retain what they have. If they could find one of the other, great. But no one wants to overextend and give anything up.
What's your breakfast then?
It's the sausage.
It is a sausage bat.
Yeah, it has to be a bat. A little bit of butter, brown sauce.
Like those rolls that you don't really know why they're 20p, but they cost 20p.
Yeah, you know, have you paid for that?
Someone die?
Bomb.
Adrian died to it.
Awkward.
It's all right. I
How's
think
his money? It's all right.
he's got cash.
It's not
I was too busy talking about sandwiches.
This is why you get those comments on Reddit.
Yep, they're going to tell me off in a minute. Still, let's
How
get
dare
into this
you
one.
have fun. It's 6-1, Alex. So, scoreline-wise, this bodes pretty poorly for mousesports if you want to put it in context of what we saw yesterday. Now, you know, different team you're playing against, different situation, different day, right? That could change. But yesterday, this CD side was a real strong point for mousesports. Where they had those double ups, which you haven't seen return yet because their money's been pushed back. That was a huge redeeming factor. So we need to see something swing back in for these guys pretty soon. Otherwise, I feel like Gambit is starting to get stronger and stronger and build up that momentum and confidence that can work very well.
Okay, so let's have a little look how this one shapes up. Very default. Dosia is responsible for early presence towards Ivy. You'll be able to see him on the map there. In the meantime, the CTs are just going to be setting themselves up. Look at this. Dosia spends every round just sitting there staring at a box to start things off.
He's the sex god.
Yeah. Excuse me. The ex-god. Correction. Don't know what you're talking about, but still. Bit of tagging. Dosia and Mo just taking a little tickle from the HE. Chris J, the one to throw it. And the utility is starting to get drained. In fact, that was the last smoke grenade from mousesports, and there's still 60 seconds left on the clock. Gambit, they haven't had to do anything. There won't be any more smoke grenades to stop them from walking into the site, having the beneficial angle.
Scary fact is that Gambit look still like a complete team, even though we know there is roster mania building in the back lines, there's rumors of roster changes, but they still look really solid, especially this T side. You can see right now the exchanges. Let's see if this hit works out, though. They don't have that easy step into this, and there's 4 players on this A side, so they are going against the grain here, and this won't be an easy take. Hobbit lingers his way out from Poppy, almost catches one on the way through, but Adrent is there, so they still have success. How is he getting away with that sort of nade? This is so good, though, from them. It's so just all-encompassing. The final stopping point is Oscar and Snack, so they still have a chance to stop this before it truly gets away from them.
Oscar's heard it. He's not going to be able to find it, though. Mo was holding the angle, keeping his teammates safe as the digits were punched in by Dosia. Eventually falls. Mo, though, looking for the 3. He's already found 2, and the 3rd is Robs. 2 flashes and 2 players to find. 1 pop, 1 towards main, and now bomb is planted for them. He's going to have to do something rather outrageous if he wants to bring this round home for mousesports. He knows that sightline's going to be held. He seems to have a good idea of at least where one, if not both of them are. That's the first, and it was close to the frag. He knew Mo would peek him. He had the info, couldn't quite convert it into a round. And a 7th now for Gambit as they are picking up pace.
I love that. You can see the mental checklist going through. He's like, okay, if I kill this guy here, the other guy there. And you could see it almost being there. That was so close. But even with rounds looking really exciting and close like that, down to that 1v2 and all of that, it's still a 7-1 scoreline, and Gambit still are very much in control here. They just went in against a 4-man stack and came out pretty good.
Yeah, their Skrilla is broken as well. Not much for mousesports into this one. Snack's the richest of the squad. And for Gambit, they're starting to build up quite the bank, closing in on 10k for Dosia. Still has to buy, and this is that shot from Mo. Gets the first and a nice easy second as well, as that AWP sounds like it's from 1.1.
Sounds like a hellish dimension.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I am seeing a buy. Oscar's got himself...
Right.
Okay, so that's interesting. That's an AWP Scout,
CZ.
a Kevlar CZ. This is something.
What's the plan here?
I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just put Oscar's money on par with everyone else's, but... see how this one shapes up. I am intrigued. Sunny already gone. That was the Kevlar CZ gone, and now it was Hobbit's early aggression that's been rewarded for Gambit. The CT spread out. If you're interested to know where Oscar is, he's positioned on towards the bomb train, responsible for that E-box cross. Patience, though. They know the money's low. They're expecting some aggressive CT maneuvers, but nothing's coming. Chris J, he's been given sole responsibility with just a USP to hold Ivy.
Now, last time around you saw mousesports in a situation like this, money-wise, where you'd imagine it to be a bit broken with some weird upgrades. They did the push down Ivy, they did the stack towards B. We've seen some very unique rounds, and without that happening, it gets a little curious as Snacks has got his way forward. He's
just waving a big flag saying, "Hi guys, I have pushed Ivy. I am here, I have a CZ.
Go towards Oscar, not me." Maybe that's going to happen. I don't know. It depends how Gambit read this. Keep in mind, they've pretty much just held where they are, and they're down to a nice 5v3. So far so good, and they're reading this correctly. If you're looking where that bomb's going, where the rest of the T side are heading is towards a clear site. Mir's going out first. He's kind of scouting the way, ensuring that no one's in an obvious position. They still have to be cautious because there could be a play with that CZ somewhere if there was one still up. There isn't.
Oh, what a shot! Jumps for info, finds Adren through a rather chunky piece of metal. Fantastic work. I don't think he's going to be able to do too much more with that, but that was naughty.
That's cool.
Yeah, nice work from Rops. They are posturing for a retake. Oscar, of course, not. They don't have anything else really, though, so it's likely just going to be a case of boosting over the smoke, hoping Rops can do something else with that scout. $1,700 well spent, it seems, after taking Adren down and saving that one. Mir, though, he's causing problems, finds him. Takes that weapon out of his grasp. Oscar, he could not be further away from the situation. He's desperately trying to keep hold of this orb. It was a Hail Mary purchase. He just wanted to try and find a way into the round. Maybe should they come outside, he finds a quick 2, but not the case. Chris J, it's rare you see someone coming into the save with simply a USP.
Yeah, pretty rough. Now, after this...
Double orbs.
You'd hope so. But after this map will be Dust 2. So that's very polarizing. I'm excited by that. I like the kind of structure that comes with Train. And then I like the chaos that comes with Dust 2. I love a bit of that. So, double orb time. This is the moment. Chris J and Oscar, you need to stem the bleed now. We are live back into the game, so we can hop to that. Just a couple of seconds. It's all good. It wasn't a fast round anyway, but keep eyes on Oscar. If they do go towards B, he could be their big point here. And maybe they can stem this, but it is 8-1. This starts to get a little out of control, but there he is. Oscar finally getting things going for mousesports and the follow-up from Sunny. Chris J can't deliver on the same sort of front, but he's still alive. They're still holding it down. And we are seeing finally Gambit being stopped in their tracks, not getting away with what they were doing before.
Just the info. He knows Adren's in that corner. I think he saw the tip of his gun. And so just Adren and Mir. For Gambit. Other sides of the map. Adren's kind of boxed in. Mir's trying to bail him out with a smoke grenade towards Ivy. That should just about cover the sideline. Adren can move once again. 5 players to find. He's going to give a good angle onto Snacks and makes it 4 towards Heaven. Sunny Doe's on the flank. This is game winning, or round winning, I should say. Excuse me.
He's going to hear the steps.
Mir can hear him. He's made the call, and
Sunny's
heard him actually. This is a problem. Do excuse me, Lauren. You've got that nail on head. 35 seconds. Adren's on his own. Looking for his 10th frag, and this round is over. The bomb so far away. And mousesports have found their second, and believe it or not, no surprises here. Sunny starts fragging, mousesports start winning rounds. Great hold on the outside side.
And he, like, I talk about the double orbs being a factor, but he was a factor too. He was a win condition of his own, it felt, when you watched mousesports just yesterday. He was playing so well, that rock almost, you know, always in the right place.
It's the CT side, I swear. Sunny just has the real affinity for the M4A4.
Let's have a little watch. There he is. And was that straight through smoke? We're going to get a little treat on that one? Or
nice
no, down Ivy. There it is.
From Pop Dog to Ivy.
And he's just everywhere. Look at him. He's in their spawn as well.
He's killed 3 Ts in 3 very different locations.
I like that.
Great work. Chris J once again back on that AWP towards team main at the moment. A bit of a quick aggressive push from Rops. And it does seem like that's maybe the win condition here for the CTs. They've been quiet, and then soon as Oscar starts pushing ramp early, looking at brown holes, Chris J pushing towards Ivy aggressively, all of that does seem to be netting them those rounds that have been evading them so far. Mir, spectacular onto the bomb chain. They might be even get a plant here, Lauren.
This is quick coming out from Gambit. This is their response. You see the double orbs up, you feel they're starting to work. All right, let's try and quicken the pace, but the bomb being dropped in that position plays well for mousesports. That kind of falls into their hands, and there's a lot of players on this side, but apparently those smokes aren't covering all of them. Sunny still lurks, still waits, still gets spotted, and still gets taken down. We're down to 2 now for mousesports, and they're just dwindling in numbers and chances at this. It's down to Rops and Chris J, and I don't know if they can hold on to it in this 2v2.
Chris J finding that frag is huge, though. It makes it a 2v2, and it does stop that bomb from being planted. That becomes possible. Yes, a 2v2. Yes, they are bleeding internally. 38 points of health between the two of them. But Chris J, he's got a shot. Oh, he gets the head, and both of them peeking into his crosshair. Neither connect the first time. The second, though, Adren shot in the spine. All on Mo, then.
No one can pick up the bomb. It was in the worst position, and Chris J played that so well. He did his early work and then considered where that bomb's dropped, and he watched players try and get it and get out, and he caught one on the way, and that's round done. Finally, mousesports start to really gain a little bit of a way back into this. They need to stabilize and get the rest of the rounds, and you're looking all right, but you could see the mental work from Gambit to quicken that pace, just go for that, good hit on the site, smokes up. didn't work out. Somehow those two held on. That bomb being lost just on the other side of the smoke just hindered them so much.
And that's with Mir, of course, getting that spectacular entry frag
sexy
onto the bomb train. So speed didn't quite work out for Gambit. And that will shift the momentum somewhat. Chris J, he fell for that trick once. Will he fall for it again? The flash forces him off the angle. Two present and looking poised. I was going to say to push. That smoke changes their mind. Adrian again out towards Hell. Steps heard, and actually back's turned. A great headshot. Could find a second. Snacks was caught unawares. There's another headshot. Adrian, he's making it work. Just a Desert Eagle, and he's already cut the CT side down to size. Mo was elsewhere, finds Sunny with the AWP, and now Rops and Oscar, they're shaking their heads. How does he get away with this?
Devastating if you're mousesports. Absolutely gutting, but what a sick bit of work from Gambit, and specifically Adren. But you felt, oh, we're finally back into it, finally doing all right. Money's not too bad in this round. Good purchase. You just get battered by a Deagle.
He just walked. Quietly emerging from team main. Rops, though, we saw what Rops and Chris J could do the round prior. It looked like an impossible scenario. This even more so, though, as an AK is picked up for Rops.
Again, not
keeping hold of this one.
Yeah, not going to be going for anything, but just trying to keep hold of what they have, and that's not a lot. But what a bit of individual power, and what an upgrade as well. He goes from the Deagle, gets 2 kills, gets an AWP, gets out. You love to see a bit of that.
They scarper towards Ivy to safely maintain their weapons. And another round for Gambit then. 9 in the bank on the T side of Train. They are looking calm. They're looking happy. A big smile on the face of Dosia.
Considering this is meant to be a broken team.
It is. That's what it's supposed to be.
They play very well. You know, this is the scary part, isn't it? It's like some teams maybe when they feel like they have nothing to lose do start playing some good counter. I don't get it. Shouldn't make sense, but Gambit are putting up a really nice game. 2 AWPs on the T side now. Not the classic approach, but maybe there's something to be seen here. Certainly have seen it before on Train, but I mean, you know, you rarely see it lent upon, but we are seeing just a scout and an AWP on the other side. So the 4-1 stack for mousesports, and see if they can feel out the hit or if they get a bit of a chance. This Sunny desperately needs to turn up now. We know this guy can be a game changer, but not having much of a shot at it here.
Pretty default setup from the CTs. They have Rops there early. Oscar is going to be that flexible player. He can provide the AWP in cover if Rops asks for it, and in fact he's asked for it now, and you can see why. He's heard something. Oscar gets a little bit of info, but so do the Ts. The AWP shot rattles out towards inner. Posturing towards ramp as well as the Molotovs do rain in, and one of his own as well. Oscar's holding on to this.
They're going on this too. This is a really well-constructed hit. Somehow Rops goes down to mid.
Oh!
This precision is almost filthy coming out from Adren. This guy's got a bit of a fire under him right now. You can see him pushing through the smoke, wants to get aggressive. Can't get too far though. Snacks stops him in his tracks, but while that all happened, they've got the bomb down. They have the afterplants, but can they hold it? Sunny is still alive, but they're trying to play a retake here with Scout on board. Chris J can be a wizard, but this time it's not going too badly. It's just down to Mir now in a 1v3.
What? I tapped out to look who picked Train, and then I look at what happens when I return. Mir then forced to go 1v3, it won't be happening. The retake is successful. Such a hard site to retake, especially with positioning like Adren's. Of course, notice that he got caught through the smoke. A huge frag that did, in the end, snowball out of control for Gambit. They couldn't hold on to the site. Fantastic retake, an important retake from mousesports as well as they try and level this out. 9-6. Is going to be that end goal. Anything else, and if that pistol's won, you start talking about the second map. We're not there yet, though, and I am so hyped to see how this series plays out. Just the fact that we get Dust 2, Lauren, is it's getting me excited.
Have you cast Dust 2?
I haven't.
Dust 2?
No, exactly. That's why I'm so excited.
Aww.
More Dust 2.
Welcome back.
Feels good. Let's
Sunny
have a look.
on the push, though. This.
Ooh.
Ooh, back away, back away. No one saw nothing.
Okay, change of plan.
He's still like tempted by the prospect.
He's got no buttons on his mouse stand.
Oh. Stop it.
Sorry.
All right. It's only funny when they do the banter, Alex. It's not funny when anyone else does it.
Holding towards Pop Dog as Lauren makes passive-aggressive comments.
It's not even passive.
It's aggressive, you're right. Yeah, correction. Let's have a little look how this one plays out, because Snacks v Hobbit is essentially what's about to be going down. The smoke will force him away. Spray does reveal his location. The CTs once again 4 on this outer site.
Look how aggressive Snacks and Christian are. This is the first time we're seeing really well-constructed aggression coming out from mousesports on this. We've seen a couple of players, you know, looking for it here and there, but this is a decent purchase, and they're still doing it. I like that. I like them trying to switch things up.
He's playing anti-flash. Chris J's holding his back.
If only knew how close he was. Just knock on the wall.
Yeah.
Bit of Marco Polo.
If you could hear the team comms through the wall. Oh, actually, I can hear him talking. Adrian, though. He's got a good understanding. The nades were enough of an indication. He's actually got teammates surrounding him as well. Gambit, they're about to turn the corner.
Edge.
This is going to be intense. Adrian Deagle does what it's been doing this whole game. Finds the head. Mir as well onto Chris J. They're just going to burst into this site now. 2 swift frags. Adrian's found another one. This man is putting his team on his back on this T side. Influential frags left and right. Oscar's locked out of the site. And backing away, hoping to keep hold of that AWP. The money's not fantastic. They're all down to scraps.
The theory wasn't bad. I love the idea of what mousesports were doing, but it's just walk around with a deagle, get absolutely banged out. And keeping hold of these weapons was a huge factor now for these guys. And Oscar knows he's in trouble. They're so close by. You've got Hobbit, Adren. They're all closing in. Oscar tries to find any safety he can. Yeah,
he's desperately trying to keep hold of this AWP. They're all going to be checking the corners as he starts to navigate. It's just so close. Dosia's going to be the first one. Finds the head. That's a step in the right direction to saving that AWP. And
wait,
it looks like the bomb saves him.
He just goes life saved.
Oh my god, he was about to walk straight into the domain of Gambit. The bomb explosion puts him on the ground, and Oscar does take that AWP into the next round.
That's amazing.
So I think they should have an okay-ish buy. It'll be Brops on a Deagle, a shotgun for Snacks, but the rest should be well-equipped. Nade's going to be a bit of a tight resource. Just a couple of flashbangs, 1 Molotov, 3 smokes for mousesports to keep Gambit at bay here. 1 minute 50 thrown onto the clock, and we start our adventure once more. Last round of the first half for our second series, for our second day here at ESL One New York. Oh, they land on his noggin, and Snacks sends Hobbit to a different realm.
I think that shotgun just got put somewhere it shouldn't be. 5v3 now, and Gambit feeling a little worse for wear after that initial exchange, as we're looking at the remaining players for Gambit, and Dozier, Mo, and Mir are going to be having to try and find an avenue of approach, but nothing looks all that viable right now.
I like the bravery from Mir as well, despite his teammate getting a Mag 7 up his Jaxie. Still managing to just try and take Pop Dog control, but only short term. Chris J catches him as he did poke his head out. Dozier and Mo then. Desperately trying to find the 11th. I don't think they're going to be too stressed about this one, but oof, Mo, precise. He has been so good recently, and not far off Sunny's head, but it's the headshots that Sunny's finding. Okay, so a 10-5 half here, as it's mousesports' turn to attack. This is such a scary scenario. Gambit, they win this pistol. They really, I mean, I said the same about Fnatic, and they managed to throw this away.
But if you look at it, one, it's the T side, and Gambit have looked pretty good on it. They've had individuals playing really well. They've had constructed hits. We didn't see that really from mousesports to the same degree, which is what worries me. I'm hoping it was just a bad day yesterday, that they weren't, just, it wasn't gelling completely as well as they'd like, and it just wasn't quite there. But I'm worried going into that second half that, as you said, if that pistol goes Gambit's way, there's just no room. There's no time for that turnaround.
It's going to be all hanging and hinging on the way this second half does start. They started to find their feet a little bit. I think that the flurries of aggression towards the end there from the CT side of Mouse was encouraging.
Yeah, look good.
However, comfortably in the lead now for Gambit. You can see it is Adren. I mean, he has been having a spectacular T side. Doesn't matter what weapon he's using, he does seem to be finding those I guess you could call them the big frags, the important frags, the influential ones, whatever you want to call them. He has been having no trouble. Desert Eagle or AK.
It felt like Hobbit had the start of the game, and then Adren took over on the half.
Yeah.
They just kind of went through on that sort of pacing. But we do have utility for the T side. Molotov's coming out. Looks like it could be a straight-up B hit, and right now that looks exactly like the case. It's only Dozier there for now. It's a 4-1 split from Gambit, so this could bode quite poorly if they do just go into this pace, but maybe it's all but a ruse. That bomb's hitting right back around. It's mousesports up to some tricks here.
Chris J. Oh, the timing. That is Counter-Strike timing in a nutshell. The Dutchman down and forced to watch as the rest of this pistol round plays out. Sunny Going to be creeping and crawling behind the CTs here. It's unlikely they'll be checking this one. Hobbit should be vulnerable, but he's done so much damage already. He's cut them down to size. He's got 3 as they exit Pop Dog. Sunny, though, finally catches 1. Looking to upgrade to the USP, but aggressive positioning from Adrent shuts him down. And that looks pretty dire for Rops. 45 points of health.
Yeah.
He would have to close to double his frags in this round alone. He does catch the toes of Adrent and backs away. And that's the end of that. Smooth from Gambit as this roster. They're looking very... Why are they looking so good? This is just Counter-Strike. It truly is. When a team starts to say we're disbanding. I mean, remember NIP coming into Dubai. They're not just disbanding, excuse me, that's just hyperbole. What I'm trying to say is that putting Hobbit on the bench, your star player, the player who's got 3 frags in that pistol round, they've announced that he's up for transfer offers, and yet he's top of the scoreboard, and Gambit are dominating mousesports here on their map pick.
This is the state of flux that we're all just kind of really curious about, is how these rosters end up and where they go and who goes where and why they're changing. All these answers we'll eventually find out, but this is the event where you're seeing the effects of all of those potential moves. And if you're a Hobbit as well and you are up for sale, you want to put on a good show. You want to be the prize pig at the fair. So, I mean, he's looking real nice right now. Put a little bow on him. Looking delightful. Dozier on the play towards B. Nade comes out. That could do a lot of damage, and it does. And look at this shutdown. No bomb plant, no hope, no chance. It's a clean pickup for Gambit.
That nade was brutal. Just watch those health bars get halved. Yeah. HE over the trains. It's usually not the hardest site to plant on, actually. You can go there pretty bare bones, a couple of flashbangs to get the bomb down, but Gambit are having absolutely none of it. And so it was a conscious decision from mousesports. They went full eco, so they could try and buy on the 3rd, hoping that the bomb plant would put stronger weapons in their hands. Not the case, though, as we see SMGs galore.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Give me a nice...
Call of Duty.
Give me a rush B. But they've got so much utility. I don't know why you just like straight up bum rush it. This
is gonna be something out of the strat book.
But then again, Adren and Dozier are so close by, and Adren's position, if Dozier gets the attention, he could swing in this, and I'm a little scared, Alex. I'm very scared now. Rops goes down first. He sees it all, and he makes it away. He can't jump off. Adren, be careful.
He did the ladder.
He did the ladder.
Clay, just a little bit too close. But come for the nade! An aggressive one. Straight through. It was designed for the T's, but Dozier, he's making it work for him. Cuts them down to half health as they do start to exit now. Aggressive positioning from these SMGs. I think Mo's going to get caught off guard here. He's jumping above the smoke. Doesn't quite get punished just yet. Instead, the bomb goes down. It's what they looked for the round prior. This time they get it. Push from Chris J is not going to work out. Adrent, considering an upgrade, realizes it's all SMGs from here. 3v5 now as Sunny's positioning. He finally starts showing his position, but no, look at Hobbit go. It's just Snacks left, and only for a moment before Mo finds him. And that's the 13th, and this is looking all but over, Lauren.
Yeah, you can say to a degree, oh, you know, they got a plan, they got a couple of kills, but it's like, yeah, you're at 13-5 though now. It's got to that point where it goes beyond just that. You need that little bit more, and of course, money becomes such a big factor. Their money's going to be pretty neutered at this point. They've got enough to fashion some form of buy, but it's never going to be, you know, full orbs, utility, everything you want. Always should be lacking a little something from mousesports. And maybe it's time to discuss how do we approach the last part of the game if we are going to be struggling for cash for a while.
Look at that, straight through the smoke. He didn't see any of his adversaries as he got rid of 2 of them.
Reasonable.
Looks like they're going to be having a bit, I would imagine, a tech timeout with the headsets off. Yep, talking to the admin there. Hey, Hobbit, if you could just stop killing people through smoke, mate.
Smoke, you can't.
Yeah.
That's
Smoke's
meant to
supposed
stop it.
Yeah, you're supposed to not be able to see through smoke.
Just turn it down a little bit, like.
Jokes aside, now sports. What's the conversation they're having here, Lauren? I mean, let's have a little look.
How on earth would I know?
Well, I was about to set the scene for you.
Hit me.
What conversation could you possibly have staring down the barrel of 13, money around that 3K, 4K mark? It's a question of, okay, I guess we give them 14, or do we? Because I see an AK. Sunny's bought. Okay, so they're going to try and just play around Sunny.
This looks like those horrible late calls where you're still like half discussing it when the round starts. I mean, there was a lot of late purchases coming out of that. Yeah. I mean, it has evened the money somewhat, but then Sunny's gotten such a dip.
Yes,
it's a Superman buy, right?
Yeah, you support Sunny. You hope that the one buy is going to be enough to do damage, and then everyone else can buy around into the 20th round. Oscar evades the majority of the damage from the nade. It does look like the game plan here is going to be a take on to A from mousesports. However, Mir may have something to say about that. He's been relatively quiet from Gambit, hasn't had to do too much, but of course, it's a quick game. 7 frags so far for him, the newest addition to Gambit. Bought out of his contract, of course, from Vega Squadron. And a lot of interviews as well. Gambit have been announcing that they just think he needs to find confidence. He was one of those, you know, swaggy young players who would just swing into sight. And since he donned that jersey, he's lost a little bit of that flair.
You see that a couple of times. We've seen a couple of other players kind of tame down a little bit, but then once, you know,
you just need basically to constantly have that reinforced that you can still go and do what you did.
Yeah.
Just because we're playing against perhaps bigger names on a more regular basis. And of course, he's playing with big names. I mean, Adrian, Dosia. These are names that have been around for his scene for a very long time. Oscar starting
25 seconds, Alex. I mean, this gets right down to the wire now. It's quite scary. You've got 4 players as well at the other side on the same site. I don't know what the plan is here for mousesports. I think we're going to find out now, and it's not the good one, especially with the aforementioned man, Mir, on the other side of things, meeting them with a smile on his face. Sunny was meant to be the ace up the sleeve, but with 7 seconds, it feels like this has all fallen flat.
Yeah, he was just trying to take as many weapons as he could away, but he realizes just saving that AK and buying alongside his teammates, or being present with that buy. Hang on a second. Dosia, oof. A second longer, he could have had a shot. Everyone else will be buying around them, though, but that round doesn't make the impact they were hoping for. It was late. I guess they wanted to try and perhaps catch Gambit off guard, but there was no real way to stop them pushing for info. They got it, stacked A, and that's the end of that. 14 then to 5 as a tactical timeout comes out from Gambit. Now, I guess that's just trying to... There can't be too much to talk about. Everything's going swimmingly. Perhaps just trying to decelerate mousesports.
And also just maybe discuss, all right, money-wise, where they're at. They've had some weird purchases back and forth.
Yeah, I saw an AK. What was that? Right.
Yeah, it might just be one of those. I don't know. Again, it'd be interesting to find out these kind of like late calls from them. This is mousesports. They are not the ones in the timeout. We could see Gambit, just see if they are discussing or, you know, what the conversations are. We cannot.
Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to be jumping straight back in.
Yeah. Unpause comes through. Nothing. It's just Hobbit being
happy. It's all smiles.
Oh, he's so cute. He's genuinely like a happy player. That's the best part. Like, he's just like, he enjoys playing. It's amazing.
During his debut, I remember when he was just fragging and he just, yeah, he was had a big beaming smile playing Counter-Strike. It's nice to see. 14 though to 5. This is really mousesports' last chance if they want to make an impact on Train. Otherwise, they start setting sights on their map pick. This is Gambit, and so their success shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, but perhaps by this margin, that's what's raising eyebrows. I
think so too. I think it's scary. It feels like that brick wall that Train can certainly be sometimes is certainly in place right now, and it's very frustrating, I can imagine, for Mouse. It feels like you've never really got started. You finally get those guns, you're always kind of suffering off the back. But Sunny,
here we go,
could be the one to correct, but he's against the smiling Hobbit. The man who enjoys the murder, but it's Oscar to find the first, and Sunny delivers as well. We've got 2 ticks in the boxes now for mousesports. Finally getting good starts here, maybe punishing some of that aggression from Gambit, but now how do they close it? How do they finish this round out?
Right now, it's just going to be a pause. Cut noise in the majority of the map and just wait for the CTs to start getting antsy. Dosia's doing it already. He was responsible for the B side, but due to no action, he starts to move towards Z. The T's starting to charge straight out of Ivy. It's going to be Mo on the receiving end of this one. He has to find 2 here, and he gets the first. Back to the way. Smart repositioning from him. He's looking for safety, but it's not looking all too good. Chris J and Snacks will bring it back for mousesports.
So quick on the reactions as well, like knowing they're going to try and like dive away and get down to the Z connector. You could see them just hunting that on Mouse. Was like, okay, we can't give them any quarter. Take it all from them. 6 to 14. There's a little life in them yet, and now the money starts to get a little bit humbled here for Gambit. They weren't in a bad position money-wise. They will have to spread the wealth, but it starts to not look so flush the whole time, where it's that impossible, you know, to break situation.
Yeah, pretty okay for this round. Things get a little bit different. Should mousesports find this? It's round 21. Leaving the bomb towards spawn, usually an indicator that they're going to be taking their time as they hold the default. Boosting up Mo. This is a real brutal angle. I've seen a lot of Orbers doing this recently on Train.
It's nice.
Much more predictable there on the reposition. Deep smoke from Hobbit. That's just going to try and slow them down. It seems quite early. I think Sunny might even have the cojones to push through it.
He's certainly considering, isn't he? He's little by little just kind of teetering on the edge, looking for a way through. Is anyone pushed up? No. mousesports aren't really actually that attentive anywhere. Sunny's probably the furthest forward in a weird way. Rops is considering B could be somewhere he wants to head towards, but this is very, very cautious, very slow, maybe becoming accustomed to Gambit's aggression that has been noted in the last couple of rounds. Maybe this is their response. All right, we just take our foot off the gas, we keep our utility, we hold deep, and then we'll just collect and we'll go somewhere.
So yeah, let's take a look at the utility. It should Gambit have to retake. They have just used almost everything. 2 flashbangs to get them back into the site. The Molotovs may come in handy. 33 seconds. They are starting to gather in box halls, setting their sights on the B site. And actually, I think Gambit have got a good read of this. This is where Chris J has to be starting to apply pressure from Ivy. He's still quiet. He's still not made his announcement, and this could not quite fall in sync. Good Molotov from Mo. It's perfectly timed. They've only got 14 seconds here, Lauren. They're flashbanged off. The Molotovs have caused problems. 10 seconds. mousesports have to get this bomb down. It's in the hands of Sunny. 8 seconds. He starts to punch in the digits.
This is terrifyingly late, but it is bombed down. It is a lot of players alive, but they're very close to the opponents. However, they've stood tall. 2 kills coming in quickly means this still sits quite favorably towards mousesports, and the awareness from Oscar to consider the quick flank coming in from Hobbit. He deals with that well. The last 2 alive for Gambit, well, they're still putting up a fight, but playing this back in is not going to be easy. Mir's not even that close. Yeah, he's just about got through CT spawn now, and it does look like they're going to be giving this one to mousesports. They only need 2. Don't want to break the bank. You've got an AWP, you've got an AK-47. Just set your sights on the next one and perhaps review where things went wrong there. It's a dangerous hit from mousesports that late. I mean, it's planting what, 8 seconds was it? With Na'Vi succeeding so much, it's going to show its face again. It's kind of retro Counter-Strike. We're running down that clock. Zeus, of course, going to be sitting there proud, watching mousesports. Getting flashbacks to like the infamous hits from Na'Vi on Dust 2, like take cat control and fight. No, it was even on Train. They tend to do as well. Absolutely. Inferno, of course, the signature map for those late hits. And that one, with just 8 seconds left, they get the bomb down. And they convert to the round. So, 7 now for mousesports. And this looks like a complete change of pace. Look at this. Chris J's taking a very aggressive angle. Mir does seem wise to it. Limited money for Gambit. It is just those 2 saved weapons that will try and keep this round dream alive for Gambit. So in search of 15. Rops walks into the CZ, but it's going to be a dink for a dink. He's got the bigger gun, though. 3 for 3. But look at Dren in this position as well. He's going to be a nuisance if they can't deal with him quickly, and they do really well played from Sunny to go back and just maintain that threat. But it is down to a 1v2. The bomb is planted, but Mo can't do it. It's Sunny coming alive where it matters. 3 kills that round, and 2 of them were integral. Yeah, that's going to be fine for mousesports. They did have to pay quite a heavy price, a heavy duty. Dosia managed to get a frag just with his USP. So Gambit, still in pursuit of the 15th. They have not been able to handle this T side particularly well. Of course, it has just been now 3 back-to-back for mousesports. Gambit, they won both pistol rounds to get them here. Everything has worked out in their favor. Couple more from Mouse, and that's when the morale starts getting broken. That's when you have control of the game. Sunny and Mo are very close by as well. And yeah, Sunny still is playing very well. He's starting to look confident, which is something you want to see from this man. He wasn't quite there on the CT side, but the T side, maybe feeling himself a little more. Cool little boost from Gambit. Nothing's going to be there from mousesports, so not going to be rewarded. But Mir and Hobbit just trying to be dynamic, trying to have the element of surprise. And surprising to see Oscar so low on the scoreboard. 9 from him. Sunny, again, this consistent fragging presence from mousesports. Another 19, top of the board by a considerable margin from the Finn. And here we go. mousesports, they're looking like they've found their feet. A little late in the game, if I'm honest. Their margin for error is completely gone. Everything has to be perfect, and it's usually a case of just not now, but soon for Gambit to close this game out. Bates on the ladder. Adren chooses to back away. He knows that that usually is a signifier that someone's coming out of connector, and he's not wrong. Doesn't connect the shot. Sunny, the hardest hitter from Mouse, still breathing. 43 points of health for him. I'm worried on this timer. 30 seconds. They need these kills fast. Thankfully, Snax is doing that, and the timing for Mir could be awful. He's got so many angles to be worried about, and one player's already snuck past. Chris J in such a good spot here, too. Once they escort that bomb up and get it there safely, they're in a very good spot. With Mir falling, this looks a little bit over the spam through the bomb wasn't going to happen, or the train, should I say, but the adjustment was very close.
That transition was close, man. Nice work from Dosia. He would have to get a 1v5. Let's not go crazy. Tagged up already. Oscar's bullet connects to the train, but Dosia finds a third. This should be impossible, but nothing's impossible for the X-God. No time, though, and no kits, but he's taking heads. Chris J down. Molotov out. This would have to be a 10-second defuse. You're kidding. It's not happening. He's going to try and get the fragment bullets, but good God, was that close from Dosia. Rop saves the day for mousesports and a sigh of relief collaboratively from the multinational roster.
This is good. This is such really good recovery from mousesports. This is looking like a mousesports we didn't really see yesterday. This depth that they could go to, this good run of players really finding their own, and maybe Gambit haven't quite had the money they want yet, or the approach. They haven't had the chance to really bound back into this, but they've been beaten now for 4 rounds on the trot, so they're going to have to eventually get there, otherwise they could be suffering. And, the old school timeout, potentially, or it is a tech pause.
Yeah, it's a tech pause, I think. We saw Hobbit have an exchange with the admin. It's likely they just want to finish that off and get everything tickety-boo. You see, that's when it becomes relevant. That's when you can use that word.
Thank you.
Yeah, not for you, for everyone watching at home.
I'm not allowed to use it.
You can't use tickety-boo.
Got you, all right. Okay. Oh, we're having a monitor change down. Are they checking on Dozie's monitor? They're like, all right, you pulled off almost a 1v5 there, mate. We need to have a look at this. Yeah. Yeah, we'll wobble the screen a bit and see if that helps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Well,
Imagine if there was a CS pro that played it in like
the vertical thing.
Imagine if that was a thing.
Wasn't one of your teammates at LAN who had that? Like a second monitor.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. As a second monitor, it's pretty helpful because you can kind of, it's good for multitasking. You can read, like, so if you open up a web page, like you're scrolling through Reddit, you can just endlessly read. Pretty helpful.
You can do that with just page down, really.
Yeah, but I use that to lean when I play games.
I forget that you're left-handed.
What is it for? So yeah, that's my knife key. Page down. My controls make people very sad.
It's very confusing. I still which was the player who someone posted how does he play with was it Y or something, or it was because he had a French keyboard.
Oh,
and
I
they
love
read
that
it
story.
and they're like, how does he use this?
No, well, so basically, the long story short is that, and I often hear it said wrong, but Scream, I think it was Scream. He used the French keyboard, which is AZERTY, A-Z-E-R-T-Y. Now, if you guys at home are using a QWERTY keyboard, if you have a look where A and Z are SD, you'll notice that it isn't quite what you're used to using. So he was moving forward with Z, which is actually down. And he was sitting there like, you know what, after a while, it really does feel, I can kind of see why he's doing it. It just leaves your hands so free. Bless him. Great thread. Immortalized now.
It's almost too good to be real, you know what I mean? You read it and you're like, did someone really really go for it? But I really like it.
One of my favorites as well is the headshotting and such, Roka.
Oh, it's a classic.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm just wondering, how do I replicate the style of Roka? I want to learn to play like him with, headshotting and such.
Where's the and such?
And such. Other things such as flashbangs, perhaps.
Yeah. What is there's some really good copy pastas out there for CS:GO. If you guys want to just tweet us those to entertain us.
I love a good pasta.
Yeah.
Pesto.
I was about to say I don't want to get there.
Black pepper.
Whenever we go out and get food as a group, I just bring back a wad of black pepper for you because I'm just he needs this.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a weirdo. Love me some black pepper, but I also love me some CS, and we are right back into the action. If you just joined us, it's ESL One New York. I'm Machine, she's Pansy, and 14-9 on the first map of our second series today. It's a winner's match. Winner of this one will be locking themselves in for a spot in the Barclays Center in front of that crowd here in the Big Apple.
Such a cool venue as
Mir,
well.
what was that?
Where did that come from?
Hang on a second.
Where is he at?
He's playing once again towards Ivy side, towards back train, and he's already found a swift headshot, but that doesn't seem to be stopping mousesports. That doesn't slow them. It doesn't really make too much of an impact in the long run, as it's going to be just Adren cowering now. Low HP, no weapon. And no hope, as it will be Rops to finish it off. Double digits found for mousesports. How many is that in a row now? That is 5. Back-to-back for mousesports as they're starting to forge what could be a comeback.
Well, this is the first big test for a little bit of time. Is the double AWP coming out on the other side of things. We saw that get mousesports, I think, 1 round potentially on their CT side. It wasn't a huge factor for them. It wasn't a great CT side either. So, I mean, this could be good for Gambit. This could be them stabilizing and finding a way to bite back a little bit. Or if mousesports quell this fast and they read this and they go fast somewhere, they do like an all, encompassing hit, then this could be very scary. But for now, we'll keep eyes on what mousesports bring to this one and do those double AWPs make the big difference. Oscar already going to show what his can do.
And this is so predictable that I imagine they won't be walking into it dry. Smoke is going to go out, as will the flashbang, but Oscar, he could still perhaps catch a glimpse should he elevate on the train. He does. Mo walks into Oscar's trap. They're called Mouse after all. Adren, Mir and Hobbit then. Going to be probably just accepting that this round is over. In fact, if you take a look at the map, you'll see they could not be further from one another. Maybe catching Sunny off guard. Mir precise. Finds his 12th frag onto Sunny towards Ivy. Bomb, of course, down on the inner side, so this is just ticking away. Some frags, though, and in fact, that's the AWP away. So they haven't gone empty-handed out of this round, Gambit. But still no 15. Unable to break this curse, this wall. And it's the 11th for Mouse.
Yeah, they're doing great, mousesports. They're playing just logical CS. You know what I mean? All right, you're probably up against double AWP. What would we do? Go fast somewhere? Cool.
Yeah, works out nicely.
Yeah.
Double AWP still maintained, though. That's the important fact. You were mentioning it in the previous.
Even with that win, they haven't quite taken that money away. Still enough to spread the wealth through Gambit, even though they are very much impoverished currently with what they're having to work with, considering they have not been able to put much of resilience up. There's not much resistance here.
Yeah, I mean, it's full loss bonus at this point, so they are always going to be able to scrounge something together. Round 26, though, this game, many thought it would be over by now, but mousesports are having absolutely none of it as my voice breaks.
I'm sorry, I looked at you.
It's like I'm hitting puberty at 25.
Congrats.
Yeah. I've just discovered girls, Lauren.
Same.
1 minute 33, right into the early round, and already looks like first contact could be coming in from Chris J. But Adren, we talked about the double AWPs, Lauren. This could be it.
There has to be a plan in mind.
There
has to be
smokes.
something
Yeah,
to remove him here. There it is. There's the first smoke. Good Molotov to buy him some time as well. And the flashes, you can see it hindering them. They've hit the brakes, basically. They cannot hit through the side just yet. But they've used their smokes. So this gets scary. They have to depend on flashes and a little bit more of a dry hit coming through. And now you can see Adren find at least one. Dozier still stands tall. That's a second for him. And now we're down to nothing for mousesports. 2 players, and they do not have the step. The bomb, it's down on the lower ramp. And it looks like finally Gambit have the control. They had those good counter flashes, the counter smokes, the Molotovs. They played that well on the B side. Yeah,
and Dozier, I mean, he doesn't. I don't think I've ever seen that man tilted. I've never seen that man play differently depending on the round situation or rather the game. And so just eventually they come to his site and he gets a very easy, comfortable double, which does convert into the 15th. Oscar is out of there. And so, Gambit, after a bit of a drought, they finally find their oasis, at least the 15th. 6 rounds back-to-back from mousesports. And this is, of course, a realistic scenario for mousesports. That if they win this round, that sends a lot, as long as it's a nice clean round, that's going to make Gambit rebuy. It'll be an awkward buy. They win that. We're already looking at possible overtime. It's not an impossible road, but now it's do or die.
Yeah, this is one of the big rounds. Hello.
Okay, sorry about that. I've never had an anti-hero take over my broadcast before.
I really hope they heard that at home. It's not just us sounding insane.
It's not just us going weird.
Gambit, though, do strike first in this. Again, finding that first blood seems integral to this one, and there's not been a response. They haven't been able to find a way through the smokes. The utility is being put to play by Gambit here, and Sunny has not been unleashed this time. It's Hobbit with the incentive to go forward, but down to 3. mousesports have to fight tooth and nail for this.
So, it's kind of all on Oscar. He's so alone. He's on a solo mission at this point in time, and he does know, hearing that Molotov thrown by Mo, if he can get the surprise, but no. It's a no from Mo. Snacks and Rops to keep mousesports' train dreams alive. It is looking increasingly unlikely. Smoke deployed by Rops is going to try and make something happen here, but a flash of the defenders sends him packing. A trip to Dust 2, perhaps.
Lovely location. Sunny.
Dusty.
Oh.
Not great. Good carpets distributed around the area. Robs, though. Here's the steps towards Z. There's another one, and oh, he's just completely pincered in. Yep, too many angles to check. It's all on one man. It's Snax, and he's managed to find the first. Does have potential to be getting that bomb down. There's no one to immediately question him. Oh, not when you plant there, though. That should be a nice, easy frag, and that should be the end of that one. Cancels the plant and has a shot. But no, Dosia, that's Gambit. They pick up the first map. It's comfortable in the end after a little bit of a wobble. 6 rounds back-to-back from mousesports kept them tested. But Gambit, they pick up the first in this series. Dust 2 next.
Yeah, Dust 2 will be a fun one. I think mousesports finally coming alive certainly gives us hope for this series. It felt flat. It felt like Gambit were running away with some big performances out of Hobbit and a Dren there.
Yeah,
having
I love that.
Very, very nice game between them. And obviously Dozier being a bit of a backbone throughout that. But Mouse, where were they when they needed the, in the lower moments? It felt like they ground it back. They almost brought it back, but it wasn't quite enough, Alex.
Yeah, they looked really, really set in motion, mousesports, as they started to bring that comeback. But when you cut to the cameras, they just look
sullen.
Quiet.
Yeah. There's something afoul potentially. Who knows? Well, I'm sure we'll be finding out throughout this tournament. But we will be going to a break before all of that, and any other tantalizing prospects can be discussed. And I'm sure the desk has a lot to be said about this matchup.
ESL One, New York.